All right, one of the things we wanted to do was go over some of the reports and stuff and see how that's really impacting, how we're going to do business this year. And if we take this information and say, all right, this is the information that we're getting from our buyers and sellers, how would that impact us to come up with a strategy? Because one of the things is we know the market conditions are going to be slower this year, but market conditions don't dictate our business. They do dictate our strategies to be successful in the market. So one of the things that was pretty clear was all home buyers, 26% were first-time home buyers. And actually down from years previous. Normally it's been closer to 30%.
And this was 2023 data?
2023. So we see it was actually down, and we can account, a lot maybe towards interest rates or towards down payments or to affordability too.
Right,
and
for sure.
We'll look at that. And then the primary reason for timing of buying homes, as you can see, all buyers, it was just the right time to buy a home. They had sat on the fence long enough and said, well, we're going to do it. They didn't have much choice. They had to purchase a home. And it was kind of interesting to me that the age of the 33 to 57 was the largest percentage there. I guess they were renting and said, you know what, if we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. And it was the best time because of mortgage financing options, 12%. Now, this could have been for a lot of first-time home buyers with programs VA have, with their helping with the down payment and stuff. And then also some of the new construction.
Right.
Some of them have like 3-2-1 buy downs, and essentially you're getting a mortgage at 3% for the first year, which is fantastic. If you find a 6%, so that's not too bad for them. And then saying, well, if they're going to go down, is what they're saying this year and probably next. So we'll go ahead and roll the dice and go ahead and do that because it's so low, we can actually purchase the home and afford what we want. And then you can see what the other ones were also there.
Right.
Now, this other one was kind of surprised me. Purchase price compared with asking price. And I was really surprised when we went to 24% of all buyers, and this is across the nation, were higher than list price. And 4% were higher than 10% above list price.
I know that where I used to live in Southern California, there was, a good part of 2023 was still hot. Things were still flying off the market fast. But I don't understand why.
Well, my thought is that we've got this pool of buyers, like you had mentioned. You've got a bunch of buyers right now that are looking to buy, and there's just not a lot of inventory out there. And when a good home comes on the market that's priced well, I think you do have competitive situation, because would your people bid higher to get the home they want?
It's going to happen more now too, I think, right? People are getting tired of waiting. People are getting tired of waiting. I've got, people are getting near lease terms and they've got to find something, so it's going to happen more.
I agree with that. And I think also it's with interest rates going down, I think we're going to have more buyers come out. So I think this part is actually going to happen more and more. And then another thing that went along with that was I saw a lot in the survey that was just released by NAR today on the 19th that most people were waiving home inspections. 16%.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, I don't either. As a real estate agent, I don't feel like we're protecting our buyer, but some of the buyers are saying it's new construction, it's 1 or 2 years old, everything else is in great shape. We're going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, interesting.
So I thought that was very interesting on that report, like I said, just released today. And then the characteristics of the home that they bought, which part did the buyer compromise on? And you can see a big part was price of the home. And I think that they spent more than what they thought they were going to. Another was condition of the home. And I can understand that, because if you're looking at homes and just not a lot is available, then you're going to pick out one.
Mhm.
And then some of the other stuff in there too, like distance to family and friends. And one person, 27% said they made no compromises. So now this was actually interesting. And I think a lot of folks do this already. The first step taken during the home buying process. I mean, typically that's about 50%. They look online first.
Mhm.
So that was down a little bit. It was 47%.
Yeah, well,
Percent contacted a real estate agent.
yeah, it's a learning curve. I mean, I have conversations with first-time home buyers. I've had a number of them the past year. Oh, I want to see this house. It's 400,000. Well, have you talked to a lender yet? No, I mean, that needs to be your first step because the interest rates are different than they were 2 years ago, and you may not be able to afford a 400,000, or you may be able to afford more, but it's yeah.
And you can see one of the things that's not till number 4, as far as 9% contacted the bank or mortgage lender.
Yeah, I believe it.
So, and then talk to a friend or relative about home buying, drove by homes, looked up, visited open houses, only 1%. That one really surprised me.
Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, that's interesting. Hmm.
That was their first step, they said, was let's go see
Mhm.
some open houses. Most people,
Yeah.
I think, would look online first.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
people that they just said, well, we're just getting started, so we thought we'd go to an open house.
Yeah.
And then it's got some smaller ones, less than 1%
Mm.
contacted a builder, visited builder
Mhm.
models, attending home buyer seminars. Look how low
Mhm.
that was. That was less than 1%.
Yeah.
So, and then
Mm.
looked in newspaper. But this second one, I think, was, or the third one was looked online for information about home buying process.
Hmm.
So I thought that was interesting too.
It is interesting.
And then the information sources used in the home search was look how
Mhm.
the real estate agent stuck out.
Oh, that's good. A little.
That's very good. And then the other was mobile or tablet search device,
Uh-huh.
which means you have to have a device that's mobile, because on the report that was sent out today, over 70% of the people looked for homes on their mobile device.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't have a mobile friendly website,
Mhm.
and we've got large brokerages of 70 and 80 agents that don't have mobile friendly websites.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it comes up different sizes and stuff.
Right. Yeah,
It's
that's
horrible.
a good point right there.
And the other one is online video site, like a YouTube or something of that nature. Yard signs
Mm-hmm.
was a big one. Open houses, though. Look here, after they contact the real estate agent, that was one of the sources that they used. And that
Mm-hmm.
was a prime. But one of the things I think we're going to show here is, when did the real estate agent get the buyer agreement signed? Because until you get them signed, they can buy with any agent.
I know. And I'll tell you, it's a struggle to get them to sign that ahead, I
Really?
think.
Hmm.
I don't know if you have trouble, but I get a
Um,
lot of I mean, I meet them and I show them a home first, and then when I ask about that, they just and I explain it clearly to them. It's like not, but then they want to wait. I've
hey,
had
that's
some say
something.
yes, but then some don't want to do it right away. And I keep telling them it's not binding you to buying a home. It's okay. It's just confirming that I'm your agent. That's all. And I
I think we
tell them
need to,
clearly, though, I cannot write an offer until we have that. I will not.
and I think we need to mastermind on that too, because one of the things you don't want to do is show homes without having
I
it signed.
know. I need help with that. I have a hard time. I've literally thought I lost a buyer because they wouldn't sign it. They still haven't signed it, but they're still looking. There's no homes, but I
Mhm.
can't get them to, they won't sign it until they find the house and they're ready for the offer. So I realize all that time with them is at my risk. I get that. It's hard.
Yep. And then you can see some of the other areas that they looked at, like billboards was 2%, very small.
Mhm.
Now the length of the search, number of weeks search was
Yeah.
10 weeks, and that was about average across all age groups. So you're going to be
Number of
working with
weeks
someone
searched
about
was-
2.5. Number of weeks
Uh-huh.
searched before contacting an agent.
Uh-huh. That makes
They looked
sense.
for 3 weeks online, or on
Yeah,
average 2 weeks.
that makes sense to me, like a thought process. We're looking, are we ready? Hmm.
And then the other part was homes viewed before making an offer. 5 and 6. And I can actually attest to that, because when I just closed, we only looked at 3 homes.
Oh, okay. That's good.
And number of homes viewed only online was less than that.
Hmm.
I know some people would actually wear you out as far as looking at homes. Where a buyer found the home that they purchased, again, 51% on the internet, 29% through the real estate agent. And this is the big one, especially when you do your buyer consultation,
Hmm.
is if I've got 2 people looking for a $600,000 home that is perfect, and you guys have very similar criteria, I'm going to show it to the person that has a signed agreement with me first.
Yeah.
And you understand why, right?
Yeah.
Because they showed loyalty to me.
Right.
And then 10% from a relative, 5% from directly from sellers or new to sellers. Open house signs and yard signs was 4%, and then new home or a home builder or their agent was 1%. And you can see print advertising a home in a magazine
Hmm.
or a magazine book
Nothing.
is actually the worst place you could advertise a home for.
Yeah, that's dead.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
And they spend lots of their marketing budget on that. Like the luxury home magazine, all
Hmm.
that is, that's a lot of ego is what that is.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, Wes.
So it's something where if you're advertising that to get buyers, that's an expensive proposition for, all right, how many buyers am I getting from that then? Because
Yeah.
as far as actually selling the home, it's just not going to do much. And do they really want the home on the market for 5-6 weeks? By the time they send it to print, get it printed, get it out there, and it's still on the market that long, if you're a seller. Most difficult steps for a home buying process: finding the right property, of course, was first one. Paperwork, then understanding the process or steps. 13%. If you're brand new, it was almost a third of people. So sitting down for that buyer consultation, to walk them through this is the process of buying the home, is really important to make them feel like they've done it. And then the other part is saving for a down payment. And this is having lenders that have down payment assistance programs available, or knowing of new construction, which will help with down payment assistance. Because both of those would help with that process.
Mhm.
And you can see for the 24 to 32, that was almost a third again.
Yeah.
The appraisal of the property, was about where I thought it would be. Getting a mortgage, again, that wasn't
Mhm.
about, not too bad. 20% was no difficult steps at all. They said it ran smoothly.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, the method of home purchase, 86% went through a real estate agent. Okay. 2% went directly through the builder. 10% went through a previous owner, and that was a for sale by owner. But look at that. 6% knew the previous owner. That means when a for sale by owner says, I'm going to sell it myself,
Yeah,
he only has, most of the time, he's going to sell it to somebody he knows.
sure. I
Or
bought a
he's
for
going to end
sale
up
by owner
listing it
house
as
once. I bought a for sale by owner house, and it was my neighbor. And so I told them before they were going to put it on the market, we want this house, we'll buy it. And so they sold it to us, So that was the only time.
Yep. So you can kind of see the percentages there, which I thought were pretty much standard from what they've been for the last couple of years now. I'm surprised that they didn't have down cash offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Buyer representing or representative agreement with agent. And this is one was, yes, a written agreement was made 35%, an oral agreement of
Oral
18%.
agreement, but then, okay. But an
Okay, or
oral
saying, yep,
agreement's
I'll
really,
use you, that kind of thing. 34% no agreement, and 14% didn't even know if they signed an agreement.
that's interesting. I mean,
Isn't that
because,
scary?
well, yeah.
14% of the buyers didn't know if they signed an agreement with their agent.
Well, I mean, in here, I can't speak for the other states, but we have to have that confirmation of agency signed.
Yeah, but this
Showing
is
all-
talking about the persons that, well, they said that we would just be an oral agreement until we actually
Yeah.
put the offer in.
This is just the buyer rep. This is not having to do with the home purchase. I get you.
Yep.
Okay. Well, all right.
And this is how the buyer found the real estate agent. 38% referred by a friend, relative, or someone. Used
Yeah,
an agent
wow.
previously. There, that goes back to that. Would you use the same agent? And again, it was 86% in the report that was released today would use the same agent. And it was only 12% did. Inquired about the specific property viewed online, and this is your Zillow, Redfin, these type of folks.
Yeah, realtor.com.
Website. Saw contact information on a for sale or open house sign. Okay. Referred by another real estate agent or broker, and it could be from out of state, moving here. Personal contact by agent, where it reached out to him a phone, email, mailer in the neighborhood. Visit an open house, met agent, 3%. Walked in or called an office, agent on duty, 2%. You can see relocation company and you can see the other stuff is really low, like the calendar, magnets and stuff. The direct mailers, newsletters, postcards, less than 1%.
Yeah.
They're saying open house is more than 6 times more effective than doing direct mailers. And the biggest one is work in your sphere.
Yeah.
How many times contacting an agent before received a response in the original form of contact? That means they called the agent and said, I want to look at this house. Okay. And phone call, all buyers, 33%. And you can see talk to them in person, 19%. So only 33% called back someone that left him a message saying, hey, I wanted to see a house. And we wonder why 49% of the agents only sold one house for less last year. Isn't that something?
It is. It's incredulous.
Here's it, talk to them in person. 19% actually talked to him in person, and they didn't get back with them.
Wow.
They asked a friend to put them in touch, inquire about more information through a third-party website, email, text message, social media. I mean, dismal numbers on follow-up there.
Wow. That's insane.
This goes back to just answer the phone.
Yeah.
Respond to emails.
Or call them right back. Yeah.
This is really interesting. A lot of times people think that they're interviewing against a lot of different agents. 67% only interviewed one agent.
I'm going to put you on mute for a minute because my son's about to walk in the door and my dogs are going to bark.
Okay. You can see 17% only interviewed 2. Less than 10% interviewed 3, and 6% interviewed more. So most of the time, you're not even competing against anybody. All you're doing is you're meeting them, showing value, and they're going to select you. So you need to go with the assumption that I'm going to be their real estate agent, and then set the appointment with them. This was interesting. This is what they consider the most important factors when choosing an agent. 18% was the agent's experience. 17% is the agent honest or trustworthy. And this was the most important attribute that people picked as far as why they selected an agent that was most important to them. 97% said the agent must be honest and trustworthy. Reputation of the agent, you can see all those were high. And then the other ones were has caring personality, good listener, family or friend, knowledge of neighborhood, timely response. So even though timely response is only 8% what they thought was most important, you could get a lot of business just by returning phone calls and doing a timely response. That's what I had. So with that, one of the things you mentioned was buyer agreements.
Whoops. Yes.
Is there a format you use or a script or a
hold on just a
presentation?
well, my dogs will bark for a minute.
Okay.
You know, Wes, no, I need a lot of help in that area. Hold on just.
Sure.
Saying. Okay. I don't use a particular script, and yes, I do need to improve that because it's becoming a problem for me. I get them. I mean, I'm not losing them.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm like, for me, I wouldn't want to sign a buyer's rep agreement before meeting the client. And I'm, meeting a lot of clients over the phone and stuff, and then showing them a home. I want to show them one home. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think I'm doing a good job of asking for that after. And then when I do ask, I'm getting like, I have one right now that I've been working with them for a few months. There's just not the inventory that they're looking for. And they've assured me they're going to go with me.